D2L's Grades toolset features a powerful gradebook that stores, calculates, and displays student grades to you and your students. In this video, I show how the Grades tool basically works. In other videos, I'll show you how to build a gradebook, find and use various features, and download your grade information. But for now, I'll just give you an idea of what the Grades tool can do for you and your students in a typical course. In D2L, both you and your students access the Grades area via the nav bar. But immediately, you and your students see very different screens. If you've built a gradebook and populated it with grades, your student gets a grade report. This only shows each student her or his own grades, nobody else's, and it shows them that data in the ways you told the gradebook to show it to them. In this example, my student sees on the left-hand side grade items and category headings, which represent the assessments in the course, exams, quizzes, writing assignments, discussion participation, and so on, listed down the screen. I, the instructor, added these to the gradebook. Some represent activities taking place or assignments handed in within D2L. Others might be totally unrelated to D2L or even the internet, except insofar as they have a grade item in my D2L gradebook. I've built my entire gradebook for this course and have done nothing to hide gradebook items from students, so the student can see all assessments completed and those coming up in the course. In the next column are student grades. This is a simple points-based gradebook, so the student sees scores entered for various completed assignments and sees incomplete scores for assignments that have yet to be graded. Further to the right, the student sees a percentage equivalent of each score provided by a grade scheme. Lastly, the student sees various forms of text feedback that I might add to individual grade items, or in the case of my class discussions, I used a rubric to grade the student work. Depending on what information you include in your grades area for students to see, they might have a few links to click. Other than that, all they may do is view and perhaps print what you've posted. Lastly, my student sees a total score to date. I have elected to tell the gradebook to include and keep up to date this running total. The gradebook also supplies, per my request, a percentage equivalent. The gradebook tool in D2L does not by default supply this information. It's a choice I have as the instructor. My students can see their grades at any time, whether on a desktop computer or their mobile phone, so they know exactly how they're doing in this course. If an instructor has built a gradebook in D2L, they have many more screens available to them in the Grades toolset. These are listed across the top, just below the nav bar. The Enter Grade screen is my spreadsheet, or a web version of the traditional grades counter. After you've built a gradebook for a course, this is where you'll enter and track student grades on a day-by-day basis. On the left, of course, is the list of my students, followed by a column showing their current total or average score to date. Then, scrolling to the right, come grade items, listed in organizing categories, in this case, discussions, class assignments, exams, quizzes, so on. Currently, D2L displays this gradebook in Standard View, which is safely locked, so I cannot accidentally alter a grade. But if I wanted to enter grades here directly, I can click Switch to Spreadsheet View in the upper right. This turns each grade into a text box. Click the blue Save button, and D2L saves any changes I've made to grades. I can return to Standard View by clicking Switch to Standard View. If I have more than 20 students, I could get them all on screen by using this drop-down menu and choosing a larger number than the number of students enrolled in the course. If I'd like a less cluttered view to enter grades for a particular assignment, I can click the drop-down menu caret next to that assignment's heading and choose Grade All. In this screen, I've got several options. Here I'll just mention I can enter a numerical score. I can also enter some text feedback. I click Save and Close, and D2L saves any scores I've edited or added in this screen. Another page available to me in D2L's Grades toolset is Manage Grades. Here is where I build the structure of my gradebook. I can add grade items and categories, as well as rearrange them. You need not rebuild a gradebook for every course every semester. If you've taught a course in the past and used D2L's Grades toolset then, you can import the structure and settings of your gradebook from the previous semester's class to use with a current or upcoming class. On the Schemes page, you can build grade schemes that translate numerical scores you enter into other representations of a grade. By default, D2L has a percentage and letter grade scheme installed, but you can just as easily create your own scheme if you wish to. Lastly, two further links at the top of the screen, Setup Wizard and Settings, go to two different kinds of screens with the very same options. These govern the defaults for how your gradebook displays and calculates all grades in the course. The wizard is handy if you're just getting started building a gradebook, whereas the settings screen is better for making selective changes, perhaps after the semester has begun.